good time. Whereas if you manage to actually win out, you're like, this is the most fun I could ever have. This is just going to be the best. I loved it. But
it's basically Gwen.
We are digressing. Maybe we can transition that over into the Gwen. This is kind of making me feel like Umpty might be playing the Lee Sin. Because we saw the Gwen with Lee Sin support on the top side of the map has been very, very powerful thus far in the LCK. There's a lot of support bans.
I kind of like Karma pick here. There's a bunch of ways you can go.
Lulu's still available too.
Yeah, you can go Leona here.
Bottom lane Lulu's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, you can last pick Lulu, but I think you should lock in the Leona here. I think that Leona is one of the very few supports left. Nautilus is possible as well. You just want something that you can throw in. Gragas, can't believe I haven't mentioned it yet, but yeah, very good. I really like the Gragas into immobile carries. Either of these are fine, honestly. I think the Leona and the Gragas both are fine. But the Gragas has the added effect that if Pro were planning to go for a Leona, it's now a lot worse. Because your Xenoblade not gonna hit nearly as many people when the Body Slam is available. So nice stuff from KT, liking the draft so far, can still pivot into a last pick Lulu, and I guess you can pick away the Lulu's Fredit Brion, but it's not amazing. Okay, Lava.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we were expecting as well, with the Lee Sin Gwen locked in, wanting them to be best friends. The Leona is a no-brainer as well, despite the fact that that lane is going to be pretty tough. Outside of, the Varus outranging the Kalista, etc. I just feel like Gragas, Kalista all-ins are terrifying to deal with, as KT will reveal what they're going with next. Karma's still available as well and is decent augmentation for the Xin. But Xin often, okay, this is...
Oh, yes, please.
That's cool.
Yes, please.
The classic. The classic. Dove going to be bringing out the Lissandra again. And unfortunately for us, this is Korean Lissandra. So make sure you guys check your volume, as she will be doing a lot of yelling and screaming.
And if you haven't seen Lissandra in a long time,
NA fans will know, I believe. I think that Lissandra's being played once over there.
Yeah, but I don't think the LEC has even looked at Lissandra in a long time. But with the rising popularity of LeBlanc, it's not a big surprise that champions like Lissandra, I think the Malzahar is in a similar vein.
Yep.
Basically,
Morgana mid lane.
Oh, God.
That's a 2015 special,
Yeah.
We like that one here. Well, actually, no. As LCK fans, we don't like that one here so much. Although it was theoretically an LCK matchup in the mid lane. Pawn versus Faker, of course.
Still painful.
Oh, it's not painful for me. I was working with the LPL then. It was the best.
Wow.
I was having a great time. Don't worry, the end of 2015 certainly wasn't so good for LPL fans. But the middle, that was golly gee, was it good. But this is fun. A bit of the Lissandra back again. I find it so interesting that it's Dove debuting the Lissandra here in summer 2021 when we have players like Fly still in the LCK who absolutely loved Lissandra.
I can see that. Yeah, I'm seeing Fly as a player. Yeah, his love for the set.
I think he had like a 90% win rate on Lissandra, but the team had like this woeful actual win rate because like every time he didn't get Lissandra, it was horrible, but his Lissandra was just great. God, I haven't seen that skin for a long time.
Well,
oh yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't seen Lissandra in a while, her ultimate is basically the main reason. She has a lot of lockdown available outside of that. Harp, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
So level 1 available is the light. He's going to take control of that brush, which I quite like. I think if you get level 2 earlier, you can be happy. But Lissandra just presses R on a... In this case, will probably be Lee or a LeBlanc that is trying to go in. You have, outside of your point and click CC ultimate, also your root available. You have a lot of mobility. Her shove used to be great. It used to be too good, and it used to enable Lissandra roaming to side lanes, setting up the easiest dive of your life, and that's also the reason why that was repeatedly nerfed. So I'm interested to see to what extent she's going to be able to actually maintain prio, but I do firmly believe that this pick, just by existing, takes away a lot of power from Fredit Brion's all-in and skirmishing potential that they have with this composition, because just the threat of a Lissandra ultimate, that Frozen Tomb, is not fun to play against.
I actually think it's the Frozen Thralls that I'm more scared of, because the snowball after a kill in this comp is just gross, with the fact that they have Viego as well, who's going to be resetting around, and then it creates all of the Frozen Thralls that then do about a bajillion damage. That'll be really fun.
But you can't fall behind as KT because you.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean,
have no range. That's big. We need to mention that because I think that the KT come from when they're ahead is. I love it. It's super oppressive. You have so many ways to make things happen around the map. Cannot fall behind though. Not an option.
well, I mean, that's just the meta.
I mean, the Fredit Brion comp.
Basically what we've seen.
But like the Fredit Brion comp, if you fall behind, you know, you still have some pressure. You can use your Varus. I think Lava skills decently well.
Yep. Oh, a bit of an advantage here for Noah and Harp on the bottom side of the map as they manage to hit level 2 first. But level 2 immediately here from Fredit Brion as they're popping heals. They're really going for this one as Noah's dead. That's first blood going over to Delight. And maybe we'll get another interview with Delight after this one, which is what everyone wants as he gets a flash out of Harp as well. And it was the level 2 priority from KT and they overstepped Delight as soon as he could. Goes in and kills him.
So impressed with Hannah and Delight there, recognizing that that was a punish attempt by KT, but KT and their cooldowns were down, right? Like there was no hop no spear available for Noah. Harp had already used his skills, and you get the lockdown on the Kalista, immediate arrow follow-up, then stack that passive from the Varus, throw down the hail of arrows, and just really well played. An early kill does go over to Leona, and that's big, because if it's lethality Varus, his lane becomes unbearable real quick.
But look at all of his swords.
Yeah, he's still happy. It's not bad.
네, 스킬 다 빠졌다.
It's almost full build.
잡아볼게.
Yeah, the lockdown is really good. The immediate heal coming through as
가본데요?
well. Them recognizing like we want to stay on top of this.
끝까지 가볼래? 나
Really well done. Delight the one setting that one up.
긁어 노플.
Yep, so good. Not going to watch the flash come out, but that flash did in fact happen. And that means that now, Blank's going to head down towards the bottom side and some more attention will need to be paid down here to make sure that they don't fall even further behind. They're continuing to push. Are we going for a dive down here? That's aggressive. As Dove has teleport, he's going to go back mid. So, we're not going to be committing everyone to this, as it's just going to be a steal of the Krugs. Blank is just going to go back. So, crisis averted, potentially.
Yeah, I think that would have been a lot. Not in a good way, as both junglers get the exact same back. Don't expect to see any surprisingly big deviations there in terms of build. I think as Umti, you're very happy to get some, you know, some sustain in the form of a Gore Drinker against mostly melee champions, and then as Blank, you kind of basically do the same thing. The beauty of the item's power at the moment is...
Oh no! Cannon.
We've seen this one before. Yeah, Cannon is a painful one, but let's talk a little bit about Hoya, because Hoya was a player that I was really excited about at the beginning of the year, because you know, Fredit Brion announced their lineup, and I was like looking and doing some research, and man, this guy is
rank 3.
Really good in solo queue. And then sure, you know, there were a bunch of the most played champions with champions like Ornn, which says a lot about how well you're able to recognize your win conditions, you know, and play for your team, but it doesn't really say that much. But there were also plenty of more mechanically intensive champions, and Hoya hasn't really shown any of that until recently. I feel like the last couple of games, he started to develop into more of an impressive player. And I think that's really cool to see that development, because let's not forget the Light as well. He had his first interview recently, right? Like, his first interview, these players are playing in LoL Park for the first time. Like, of course, it's going to take a little bit for them to really get used to it. Wow.
Oh, of course it was Kuzan that played it last as well. Oh, I miss him. Against Kaney at the same time. Yeah. It just really is a blast from the past, isn't it? As, of course, it was August last year, so not necessarily that long ago, as Lissandra, based on how things have gone in the LCK, certainly is pretty good into this matchup, which is exactly why we saw Dove pick it up. Just have to see whether it's going to be something that KT can make work as this game goes along. As, we do have the first streak being taken here by Fredit Brion. And we're 2 minutes away from that Herald fight, and I think that's going to tell us a lot about what KT are going to be able to get done this game, because if that works out for them, then yes, we talk about snowballs and things like that a lot, but it's definitely going to be very important to keep track of here. As this game goes on, Dove 60% win rate. He's played 10 games on the Lissandra in the LCK.
A lot.
Yeah, it's actually more than I expected. As of course, Dove has been playing for quite some time. Sandbox promoting into the LCK alongside Griffin, I believe, back in the day, 2018. So certainly been a few years.
Bit of a history lesson. Quite like it. Fits with the soothing pace of this game.
Indeed, we have certainly slowed down just a little bit. Maybe ASMR tone needs to be employed. We need to take a different tack, you know. We're not trying to make people, you know, jump out of their seats with all of the exhilaration that is going on this game, as I tried very, very hard to make sure I didn't say a specific word right then and nailed it.
Proud of you.
Thank you, thank you. And maybe now we can just calm everyone down.
It's late night LCK.
Indeed.
Everything's, you know,
Sit back,
it's raining
relax.
outside.
Is it?
You're curled up by the fireplace.
Oh, please, no, it's really hot.
I mean, here, but not everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Surely.
I was just trying to ruin the mood.
Or you did.
Thank you.
So, success on that one.
Gotta take my wins where I can get them. Because no, it's all about the tone. Doesn't actually matter what you say, as our producer has confirmed that it is not raining.
I knew that.
Which is great information to have. As Hoya here fighting against Doran. Blank's gonna move up with Dove. Umpty's here, but he decides, nah, you don't want any of this. As Hoya hangs out in his mist for a second and then dies. As Doran is gonna, see, look, the Thrall plus the reset. Imagine if that was actually a team fight and not just a dead Gwen. It would have been really cool. I'm looking forward to that one. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, still don't know whether that's actually what's going to happen. With the prio that's available here for Fredit Brion, they can rotate, or if they can get a kill on Harp hit, that would be really big. Would really open up the map.
Yeah, bit of a face check. Kick flash from Umpty is going to get the flash out of Harp, but look at that mobility. In goes Dove, trying to show that value, but it's just not going to work out. Not enough damage, not even nearly. And there is the counter kill to come through from Fredit Brion.
Shove in that bot side wave and rotate up towards that Rift Herald. Fredit Brion, they're playing it really, really well. Really nice punish coming through. They have prio in their lanes, but I thought they might rotate towards top. They are looking towards a diver. I think that's a bit enthusiastic. We do see Blank trying to contest with his blue buff. Yep, there was no smite. He just smites it away.
Yeah, just wanders in, takes that one. So Blank is going to say thank you very much for the leash, as that was so close. That Pierce, that should have hit Henna, but it did not. Not able to get those Wrens passed through as Dove. Going to yell at the wave a little bit. I think they've toned down Lissandra, because she's not yelling and screaming nearly as much as she used to.
Always mention it, and I was really waiting for.
I mean, if they did nerf it, then I can understand exactly why, because it was ludicrous.
As there is no vision available here. And it's a two-man roam, and there we see the pings go down fair bit late. Yep. Doesn't actually mean anything though. That's big. I think that if you choose to collapse this into an actual play in the Herald, you're in a much better spot, but they don't want to risk it because they're fairly low. As, yeah, Umpty, his Lee Sin play last time was not amazing, and to see him make corrective plays like this, always nice to see. They picked up the Herald as well, so Fredit Brion is very much on the snowball train. I think right now it's still a solvable situation for KT, but if a little bit more gold comes in, then it is going to be incredibly hot with how short range your composition currently is.
Yeah, and it's also, I feel like this has happened more and more here in the LCK, is that the bottom lane gets an advantage, and then the rest of the map just belongs to the team that managed to get it. I feel like the overflow of lane advantages is just really, really powerful.
It's also teams getting better, right? And it's something that Damwon Kia did really well last year, where Ghost and Barrel having pressure in the lane was turned into barrel roaming. Barrel roaming means you pick up a kill or two, you pick up an objective. And in the current meta, where item spikes are real strong, Mythics even more so, make it hard to come back from a disadvantaged position, combined with the impact of the elemental stacking. Drakes, you know, the souls, create a situation in which falling behind early is rough in of itself, and teams have gotten a lot better at finding one lane, punishing that lane, and then snowballing. However, punishes are available for a lane that's too far up, and you see Lissandra roam towards bot side, and in the light, sense something is up though.
Yep, Hoya throwing out some needlework here onto Doran, who does have to get out of his mist, and he's able to heartbreak his way over the wall just fine. We're going to connect some chains here as the Claw of Doom comes out. Oh, Claw of Doom, you remember? Quickshot always saying it. Good times. Oh, Lissandra. She brings back so many memories. Does she not?
It's like Ude, I think, though, where it's like, oh, cool, the Sunrun, and if she actually becomes popular, it becomes very frustrating, very quick.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like for this
But
game,
this game, 100% on board. Yeah, I agree.
ooh, and you remember we were going for our ASMR style of LCK. We've also got a Cloud Soul.
The breeziest of souls.
I know, it is very breezy. I feel like it's the most relaxed soul that you can have in the game.
Mountain could work as well.
I guess.
But Mountain is more of like a deep boom in your chest kind of
I guess.
break.
It's also a bit dangerous, and mountain climbing isn't necessarily a very relaxing
hint of lava
event. Yeah.
I get it.
As the lava's probably an Infernal Drake type thing.
That's more fire in general, right? I feel like Mountains, some lava action there, I'm sure.
Yep.
Just a hint of it.
Perhaps. I'll have to agree to disagree, as we do have Shelly crashing her skull into the mid lane, out of turret. 1,100 gold, the current lead for Fredit Brion, who are looking to travel with this snowball down the mountain, as Harp is going to help them with that. Getting kicked, getting taken down here by Umpty. As I could have changed the energy, but I just didn't, and I apologize.
Truly a beautiful performance here from Fredit Brion, snowballing their lead across the various lanes, getting control of the top side, or of the bot side jungle rather. And here we see Hoya, recognizing that he may be in some trouble, immediately, preemptively, moving away, waiting for the rest of his team to be there. We see the light roaming back up.
Yes, they will go for this. There's a bit of a back coming through from Blank, as Doran will be able to get out if he would like to. Right, as you mentioned, not quite here, and we'll just escort Umpty into his jungle. We'll see whether that Gromp is in danger, and it looks like it indeed is. Poor little Gromp.
Riveting gameplay.
Yeah, going
Coming
to get
here
taken
from
down
the LCK.
by the hands of a blind monk. A back will ensue on the top side of the map as Doran heads towards home.
Huh. Ludicrous 2 backs, even.
Oh, it's a lot of backing
Yeah.
going on here. Is he,
It's a bit early. There's no Drake yet.
some divine sundering now possible from the Viego. How one sunders things in a divine way, I am not entirely sure.
Aren't you sundering the Divine?
Oh,
Yeah.
but why would you want... That seems rude. Aren't the divine pretty cool?
Well, in some ways, but I mean, you have like kind of middle of the pack, like mid-tier gods. Like Pantheon, I think, is like the aspect of war, which is basically, you know, it's similar. And if you're playing against Pantheon, then I guess you kind of wanna not have that happen. And you do want to sunder the Divine.
All right.
Yeah. Leona, I think, is affiliated with the religion of the sun, of course, being a kind of the antithesis to Diana, which we have not seen that much today. She's not been popular.
She was in our first series a little bit, I believe. But yeah, she sort of ran out of that one, as I'll hold that thought. Umpty gonna have to get out here, slowed by the Rend. He flashes away, will survive for the moment. Piercing Arrow is going to go a little bit wide. Somewhat to the north. There's now Doran getting doped potentially here by Hoya as another Heartbreaker used defensively. But Gwen having a good time in this matchup, despite losing out in the farm. But it's the Viego rule. He just somehow gets more than everybody else. Seems to be a thing that we've had to come to terms with, but not anymore, as Doran's going to have to go home once again.
Only a minute until the next action will
칼리.
follow.
아, 여기
here.
시야 싸움 계속
That's
볼게.
actually
야,
really,
긁가
really
혼자
nicely
내려올려
done
한다,
play.
여기.
Let's
싸우
listen
레드
to Umpty
먹으러
as
가고.
well.
얘 혼자 하면 보자. 얘 풀 있어. 얘 혼자야.
The general setting
얘
it all
혼자야.
up.
Nothing
잡았어.
he can do.
나 이러고 바텀 다이브 압박까지 줄 수 있고.
And that's a bit greedy, right? Because as Harp, you clear that ward, which means you know your opponents have vision of you. Like, you know that they are aware of you. There's a lot of gray area, fog of war on the map, and
shows a lack of information.
Yeah, and that should in turn be enough to make you go, actually, I don't want to move up into that jungle on ward. Even as a Gragas with Aftershock available, no need for you to take that risk, and that is one of the ways where we can still see that this KT bottom lane, of course, is an inexperienced one. Harp only coming in recently, and I think his performances have generally been great, but you still see, you know, that lack of experience shine through every now and then.
Indeed. Plate Gold certainly in favor of Fredit Brion right now, who are, as we talked about, riding the snowball for the moment. KT going to start off on Shirley. See whether that can be used effectively in order to try and get themselves some map control here in this game as Henna gets to work on the bottom side of the map and Fredit Brion look to grab themselves their second Drake of the day. A bit unfortunate for them that they weren't able to grab that mountain. Because of course then Soul Point going to be very, very important. So for KT, this is good. It means that the game will be extended a little bit longer. Dumpty should be able to grab this one for free pretty comfortably.
Yeah, they also give up first turret blood. Oh yeah, nice positioning there. Knew that there was some shenanigans going on, so he positions behind the Grom. So that like a flash body slam play is a lot harder to properly execute. Also ready to dash over the wall. And its first turret bot actually going fully to Henna. That's a lot of gold. Has also gone for the Duskblade here, which I think is interesting considering the the team you're playing against rather. I don't personally mind it. And any survivability you can get is going to be great, and I think that the Prowler's Claw, you won't need to get close in this situation, because I can assure you, they will come for you, aggressively so. As we have had our Drakes, we have taken the outer ring of turrets, which will probably mean, in the LCK, we will return to a...
Yes, it's a potential state of lack of action that could ensue the next little while.
Indubitably.
Indubitably indeed. That's basically saying two words that mean the same thing back to back.
I thought that was what we go for.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes it is, but I would have preferred to be a little bit more succinct in this instance, just because there's so much to talk about and not very much time to talk about.
Walked right into that one. Should have seen it coming.
Yeah. It really is just almost too much action to really put into words here. So I'm not going to, as the red buff is going to bite the dust. No more Bramblebacks for the jungle of KT for the next little while.
If I'm not mistaken, Fredit Brion is a team that more than anything invites these types of games.
Right, there you go. Good knock up onto Umpty, who's going to have to move out of the way. We'll see whether he can escape. This one is in goes Dove and finishes it off. Frozen Tomb comes down. Henna absolutely destroyed. Delight goes gold and then flashes. Oh! Okay, the Raptor is not going to kill him, as he is going to be able to escape from that one as Hoya takes down Dove in the end, and now the Fredit Brion re-attack is trying to come through, but it's not going to be enough, and the resets were just too much. As Doran, can't stop the back! Oh, Delight. All right down support for the Pog, if it is in fact a Fredit Brion win, just for that. Beautiful timing there, but we saw the power of those resets.
That must have been a miscommunication there. I don't know what was happening, because Umti just goes in, uses his safeguard. I assume he thinks it's just flank, but you can't really assume that. A really nice flank coming in there from Dove, even though it's on vision. And it's really just Gwen as a champion combined with a beautiful distortion in there from Lava that saved this fight. Because if you don't get the combination of Gwen's Hallowed Mist with a lot of damage from the needlework, as well as that blow up that Lava showed there, as this is so barely gets the order off. That would have been really good. That it single-handedly, like, they would have just gone demolished. Now it's a 2-for-3 trade. It's not amazing, but it's not the end of the world. They do maintain their lead, and these are exactly the kind of shenanigans that you need to prevent as Fredit Brion. I'm completely fine with you opting into a 1-3-1 style. I think the KT comp is terrifying in the team fight situation, even though they are behind. But then actually commit to that.
Ooh. Lava just outplaying Dove.
Lava's
over and over here. He's really good at LeBlanc. He really is.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's Dove saying, all right, I need to get out of here. I want to redo. That wasn't it. I agree. Doran down here dealing with Hoya as best he can. Doran not able to actually get kills, which is a little bit upsetting. I think KT will be relying on this Viego to really be a force, as he is going to get ganked here. Hoya looking to try and catch up as Doran ults away, but Umpty's going to kick him all the way back again. Some needlework coming down to try and lock down the Viego, but he goes invisible once more after the cripple wears off, and he will just wander away with the assistance of Harp as Shirley jumps towards this outer turret in the mid lane, and KT grabbing a few points back here in this game.
But fighting back. And that is quite nice. There is the Blade of the Rune King now done for Doran. Ready going for more of a split push style, which considering the lead that he was able to pick up over Hoya and his presence in the second half of this matchup, I can definitely understand. Not as much survivability as a Sterix would provide, which we normally see in this situation, but at the same time does mean that in a sideline Hoya is going to have a lot harder time either Fredit Brion still control of the jungle, and with 25 seconds left until that Cloud Drake should be setting themselves up for Soul Point here.
Would you say that Doran now has 2 Blades of the Ruin King?
Yeah, his own blade, and then the Blade of the Ruin King he bought.
Yeah.
So I guess he's dual-wielding Blades of the Ruin King.
Do you think that takes away some of the, you know, the specialness that it feels to have his cool sword? Is going to have to hold that thought as Blank goes in. Immediately, they pop Henna. There are the resets that we're talking about as KT have found their team fight this time. This one looks way better. Fate's Call gets Harp in there, but he's a little bit disjointed from his team. Doran trying to get over. Heartbreaker is going to get him on in there as Lava trying to escape. Just resetting all over the place as this guy, as he manages to kill the wrong LeBlanc. And that should mean that Fredit Brion will be able to get out pretty mobile with the last remaining members, but this will mean that KT will equalize the drinks.
And up at that point, Fredit Brion is doing great, but their backside is not warded. They don't have vision, and we talked a lot about Lissandra as a champion that can negate plays. However, as we shortly lampshaded towards, there was another reason why she was strong, and that's the fact that she could set up dives like no other. And I want you to look at this time. Never mind, it wasn't vision.
Yeah.
And,
no!
If he hits that, he might be fine, but instead, it's the teleport coming through. The vision, even with the teleport vision there, like they don't have the time to really respond, haven't cleared their sides well enough. And with Henna immediately gone, you can't set up for the fight the way you want to. You want to poke, you want to go in with your LeBlanc, throw some arrows, and then go from there. Really well executed by KT. Very nice catch from Dove there, and now the game is basically dead even.
Yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. KT just showing the power of their team fight. And I just love Lissandra Viego. This combo is just revolting from KT.
What do we call it? Is it the Necromancer call? Necromancer comp?
Necromancer?
Yeah, because, I mean, you have some, like, Frozen Thralls, and Viego possesses the souls of the dead.
I guess so. I feel like you'd need Yorick in that comp.
Yeah.
Just because, you know.
But he's more about ghouls, right? I guess ghouls
It's a
are also
grave
Necromancer.
digger.
Yeah.
Similar vibe.
But then what do you call it?
Liego? Lissandra? Either one, take your pick.
No, I'm not gonna. Never mind.
Not a fan?
I'm not. No, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. I'm done
Blade
with it now.
Blade of the Ruined Sandra?
It's getting worse.
Yeah. I never promised you good naming ability, okay?
Well, I was kind of expecting it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Man of many talents.
That's kind of flattering.
Yeah.
We
Not
have
bad
named
now.
some things relatively well in the past, but also done a bad job in the past as well. So, oh, that's going to be a party cask. As good knock up there from Blank. Hoyer in a bit of trouble here as the Solar Flare is also going to do absolutely nothing, and Hoyer just gets ripped to shreds. Nothing Fredit Brion could do to get their Gwen out. And Umpty, he was looking for a flank opportunity, but just a little bit mismanaged and mistimed from Fredit Brion.
Yeah.
Doran was having a bit of fun here as they just close in one more time. Oh no, Lava just pops. And you can't be doing that. You can't just be face checking.
As Doran clearly has played his fair share of LeBlanc. Not enough though, because he misses the chain. He does have the Ignite available as well, so I wonder what would have happened if he did actually land those. Yeah, I am a bit perplexed at what we see happening here for Fredit Brion. It is, the one fight is fine in of itself, but then to kind of just randomly walk in, get hit by the hard engage, not be ready for that, when you know they're there, right? Like, you have the vision, you know this is coming, this shouldn't be a surprise. And then Hoya taking really greedy pathing, not having the flash available, Solar Flare doesn't hit anyone, Chains of Corruption doesn't really get any work done, and then you're fighting 4v5, and then here Lava, you see them clear it. What? Yeah, get stunned. What makes you think that you can just move in there? And this is some of the question marks that we do sometimes have to draw at some of the performances from Fredit Brion. Like, as long as they're in control, they're fine, but once this team starts floundering, it feels like it's kind of downhill very, very quickly.
Indeed. We do have to shout out Doran as well, though. After that initial few picks that they managed to get off, he's now ahead by 40 CS. Smashing those side lanes very effectively. And now KT, you were talking about that side lane win condition. It looks like it might be in effect now as KT with a Baron buff will have a lot of power here, and it looks like they're going to cause Lava to come back pretty quickly. So I don't think they care about that inner turret being taken because they've got another wave moving towards the bottom side. The Solar Flare does go wide. And Fredit Brion feeling like they're out of options just a little bit. Couple of teleports available here if they did want to hold on to this inner turret, but no, it's just going to be Dove going back home, using that empowered recall in order to take down, or at least get rid of the minion wave. But the turret does go. Thought maybe a teleport might have been needed if they wanted to actually save it, but I don't think this is the end of the world. Wanting to maximize the power of this Baron. And looks like Dove would be able to keep Lava busy if he would like to, as Hoya underneath this tower now. Doran just going to come through, smack this one down. Humpty's going to come on over, see whether he can protect, but Blank is here as well. Just ready. And that Q will connect onto a minion, and KT will just break the inner. And the wave now getting pushed on the top side as well by Dove. No breaking of the base just yet. We've still got a minute of this Baron buff, but it looks like it is going to be the Cloud Drake that they're going to look towards now.
I wouldn't mind an attempt. I think right now you're not in position, and I think you give up the soul point, and that's not the end of the world, especially with the Baron still being up to 45 more seconds, meaning that if you do go for it and they get even further ahead, it is real bad. And now I'm not sure. I think that the Fredit Brion comp can still do decent, but the fact that Hannah is pretty far behind, you know, was not really able to snowball on the lethality Varus. Means that basically comes down to Lava and the Light finding someone and instantly killing them. But I already mentioned that I really like the Gragas into an immobile AD carry.
Yeah.
Hannah is not going to have a fun game here. Also didn't go for the cleanse. I would really like to see a QSS next, because between Dove, Blank, and Harp, as well as a Fate's Call, like, I don't really feel like the Varus can play the game, because Leona plays very well forward, but not very well defensively. You don't really have any form of peel, so it's basically everyone on Bro dives in, and then Hannah's just standing there. That's kind of been the story, but you can't do that because this KT comp, you need to whittle them down a little bit before you go in.
Yeah. And KT goes in really comfortably.
Oh yeah.
This
So
go forward comp, if you're planning on going forward, then you're in luck, because that's all this composition does, and it does it very, very well and very consistently.
Yeah, there we go.
Well.
Let's hit some arrows.
Yep, that would be good. That would be good. Good start. But I just think it's going to be really difficult if Fredit Brion ever try to team fight again. And so maybe try your very best not to do that. See whether a side lane can actually be held on to by Hoya. It's just going to be so tough. This Sterix now on top of the Blade of the Ruin King, on top of the Blade of the Ruin King, on top of the Divine Sunderer. Ridiculous.
He's a full item ahead, Doran is, and
2 items ahead, because he's got 2 Blades of the Ruin King, remember? That too far? Yeah. Just not fine? Okay. Had to test the waters there.
I've already been tested a lot tonight, okay, Atlas? I don't need more testing from you.
That was me being tested, not you. It's not all about you, Chronicler.
That's not what I'm saying. An added problem that you run into with the KT or with the Fredit Brion composition is, I can't die here, but we'll dodge the stun, is that normally Lava adds a considerable amount of backline threat as well as poke. Because the LeBlanc is one of those champions where it's similar to the Akali. Well, if you don't have an easy way to lock her down, it feels like you can't really do anything to stop her from going in and blow someone up, right? Especially because Lava is decently fed. He has a nice CS lead, good CS for the game at the moment, 3 items done. But with a Lissandra, everything becomes so much harder.
Well, seeing whether he can stay alive here. Fate's Call, of course, says yes. His teleport's going to come through now. Doran going to come from base anyway, so actually isn't too worried about this whole situation as far as throwing out a teleport is concerned. Gets himself out on the map a little bit earlier as Dove in a side lane. Going to be quite comfortable. We have to remember that Lissandra, as far as mage is concerned, side lanes really effectively, with the fact that the Claw gives you so much added safety. You can just come through, clear out all these waves, and then whenever you want to evacuate, it is very, very easy to do so. There's Blank just backing after trying to take away more of Fredit Brion's jungle, and this game has stagnated just a little bit. Going back to what was some of the earlier sort of speed.
Stagnated implies that there were moments where this game was very action-packed.
Hey, there were certainly some moments where some thralls were exploding and things like that.
I like that. Looking for an angle, double flank being set up here by Fredit Brion.
Yeah, Lava just managed to hit a pretty big spike as well, as you can see him there from the top side. Void Staff and Deathcap in hand.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Hoya. Okay, he's going to be able to block the ulti. Yeah, and will be able to make his way out. I think he's still dead, but he's buying some time, which is pretty cool. Doran walks through the base gate and should be able to win this 1v1. So in the end, it's actually a disaster. We've got another fight breaking out here. Delight going to have to run. Survives for the moment as Doran eventually takes down Hoya. And Delight, man, he's just wandering slowly away. That's the counter, I guess. It takes a really long time, but they get him in the end as Henna has to flash. And Lava now looking to escape. So despite everything, despite staying alive for a lot longer in that fight than I was expecting, they still lose 2, and KT will have a lot of control here.
Oh, you see the Locket getting so much value as well. Harp really recognizing that Lava is constantly looking for the opening, but there's no opening that's being given, right? And I think that Oya getting caught there is very unfortunate. I like the attempt from Fredit Brion to pivot it into a Baron, but KT, they are ready for that and immediately respond. Then I'm really impressed with how KT is playing this game. I feel like ever since they took over the momentum, took over the tempo, they've not let it go whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which is what this comp does best.
Yeah, and we've been making jokes about this game being really slow, but it's also just been really well done by KT as well as Doran. Yeah, you calculated it, mate. You didn't need to come back, unless you wanted to just turn into Gwen for some fun. Which ain't too bad, as we're going to have a look at this side of the fight as well.
Yeah, we see that it's a really nice ultimate immediately coming through from Blank, keeping him alive for a long time. And I want you to look at Lava here, because he goes on Blank, Blank has Sterex. Doesn't matter. Misses the chain, but I don't think it would have changed anything. And here, Lava wants to win, but there you go. Hop immediately uses the Locket preemptively to make sure that there is not a random pop-up coming through. And now Cloud Soul is available for KT, and you are this far behind. Edge of Night went up a little bit, Void Staff, and the Rabadon's done for Lava, but it's going to be an uphill battle here for Fredit Brion, and with the control that KT currently have. And how well they've been fighting, I don't think it's very likely here, Atlas.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Certainly very online right now. You got 8 stacks on that Dark Seal as well for Dove. We'll see whether he puts together a really cool book.
Rise and Focus as well, which is cool because
fun item.
Generally you see it either on long-range mages, Zoe comes to mind, build it for a while, or something that has very readily available CC. Well, Lysandra has CC to spare, generally. As Fredit Brion, it's the classic hit and run. Just try to distract them and hope they don't get wise to the fact that you are not actually all that threatening or distracting, and watch them go for an actual objective.
Indeed. KT just trying to get themselves a very clean Baron take, because of course they're spooked as Dove. Gonna have to go golden here as Lava looking to go back. Harp knew that flash was coming in. Doran going to stab him with the Blade of the Ruin King. Nicely done. KT now should be able to head over towards this Baron. Start it up. They've got Rend, and they also have their Smite alive, and their 5 versus 4 should be pretty comfy, and there's not going to be a contest from Fredit Brion.
And that right there is why you picked the Lysandra. It is yet again a pivotal pick coming in here. It was the Maokai earlier tonight from Damonkia that came in on the R5 and had an amazing impact this time. This is the reason why you pick Lysandra, right? Like Lava goes in, almost finds the blow up. There's Aftershock, there is the ultimate, and there is the stopwatch. It's not even a stopwatch, it's a Zhonya's, which makes it even worse. You don't even really get anything out of it. That's going to be the Baron as well. And yeah, when KT fell behind earlier, I was like, I don't know how they're going to come back from this. As it turns out, with great shot calling, a couple of good team fights, and never ever letting go of the tempo. So if you are the one dictating the pace of the game, as we can see, this composition clearly doing exceptionally well.
It's really, really cool. I also think Lysandra is pretty ridiculous. I think you can proc Horizon Focus with everything but your Q.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Does it proc on your E? Because
it's over 700 range.
Oh.
Because if you walk away from the E, then it might hit him.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. Because it hits them before you come in. You can hit them with the claw and then go to the claw.
Yeah.
Double duty. The dream. Absolutely love it. As, okay, there's Chains of Corruption. They are focusing on Harp, which is exactly who you don't want to focus on, because Fate's Call exists. So they do manage to trade a few big buttons for one big button. Now, ooh, okay. Circle of Frost. Be avoided there. As KT just looking to keep the pressure up with this Baron. Fredit Brion looking to try and defend. They will be able to defend the bottom lane as all of KT group up. They are going to be able to take down this inhibitor turret and break open the base. So, inhibitor number 1 is going to go down. 6,000 gold the lead will extend. Cloud Soul, of course, was collected 2 minutes on the Elder Drake. Which, look, if they don't continue to push, perhaps we're just going to fight around the Elder instead. Q going to connect onto Noah, but obviously not going to be able to go in. There's the claw. Yeah, there we go. Procs the horizon focus. Pretty cool stuff.
Oh!
Okay, yeah, Hoya looking to go in. That's a pretty good solar flare, but these Onyas is going to be a little bit better. Oh my goodness, the damage. Even though Hoya is behind, still Gwen is in goes up. The Circle of Frost is beautiful. Double kill immediately there for Noah as now he's looking to hop around this fight. It's okay, Doran. Goodness gracious me, as he picks up a reset and then decides to go a little bit ham, but keeps himself alive with the best item in the game. As KT now looking to knock on the front door of Fredit Brion. They will take down at least one Nexus turret as Chains of Corruption come in yet again, and Blank says no. Lava diving on forward, but he just doesn't have enough damage to kill anyone right now. And Dove is going to be able to pick that one up. Now the last remaining Nexus turret in the Nexus will be taken, and KT, after an early deficit, fight this one back with a really cool composition and take game 1.